All right. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cousin Cecil Show. I am your host, Mike Fowler, a.k.a. Cousin Cecil. How you guys doing on the post-nut clarity day of the 15th of February, day after Valentine's Day? Did you get what you want, kings and queens? Did you get more than flowers? Does your partner believe in Cardi B? Did you get grass because you got her flowers? Or him? No, anyway. No, just more, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Jokes aside. This week's probably just going to be a little bit more short and sweet because I ain't going to lie. It's more, not so heavy on the games news. Some nerdy news we're going to be talking about. I mean, I found some stuff. But honestly, yeah. And even, I wasn't even going to do this. I'll probably still do it the right way I'm going to say it. But even this week's what I've been playing. Honestly, not that much. But also, I really am just more plugging it right here. Go to twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. And you could basically see what I've been playing for the past week. I was able to stream 3 to 4 days in a row, just Fortnite. And more happy, at least on my streams, I got to show some victory royales. Granted, it was in squads, but hey, it counts. And then I was going to do a little afternoon, I was going to call it Saturday afternoon cartoons. I was going to play some Ni no Kuni remastered. But I kind of just played that off stream, last night. Just enough to basically get... Long story short, I got my first familiar, if you know the game. And I'm at Ding Dong Dell, the town, after you save a heart and give a heart, all that shit for the meta of the game. But basically, yeah, I've been just streaming. I'm still trying to figure out scheduling so I can start promoting it the proper way. I've seen one person I know for sure who's a really good, will be my influence, is Ed Placencia, because he is a variety streamer like myself. Well, I mean, he does have a couple go-to games in his pocket. But I'm going to, I'll need to set up a schedule, see if anybody's interested, and then boom, 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 and those are the days of precise. But basically, yeah, twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could even just go and hit the follow button. You can put me on silent notifications or mute it. Just, help me out. You contribute. I won't forget you. Obviously, because I do also follow backs. So if I see you follow me, I'll follow you back on your Twitch. We're here to make a community. You know what I'm saying? But enough of that. More just so let's get into some gaming news and let's get out of here. With Stadia closing down their first party stuff. Also, they're losing another third party game port for Terraria. And this one's kind of more of a humorous way, like how the articles have been posting it. But they're basically canceling the Stadia version of Terraria, which is a 2D Minecraft survival based game, like I said, Minecraft. They're canceling it, like I'm saying, just because of long story short, they lost their password or they got locked out of their Google account. So they said fuck it. So I mean, that is again humorous. I mean, it's more to each his own, whatever about the news. Some other quick news. The hit anime Demon Slayer is going to get a video game that comes out for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One, PC. And it's got new screenshots and details in right now. And what is it? I'm a big fan of the Demon Slayer, and I don't think I've been saying it here, but I've been really waiting for the movie, the Mugen Train, to come out. There's been supposedly they wanted to bring it out to theaters because it broke almost all the Japanese box office records. And this is probably the first one of a series to stick with me before without knowing any knowledge of how season 2 is going to go. But this is the first one that in my history of being connected, I don't know anything about Naruto movies, but the movie really connects to the next events in the season. compared to other ones. Like even like the My Hero's on their going to be on their third movie with John Cena is supposed to be being a voice actor in it. But this Demon Slayer actually affects because season 1 ends them jumping onto the train that's in the movie. So I think that's pretty cool. So we're going to actually have a full-blown hour and a half, maybe I think it's probably going to be hour and a half, hour 40, actual little arc of the whole events on that train. Then it goes into season 2, which is pretty cool compared to other ones that are going on right now. But for the details for the game, there's been some screenshots. It looks good. Obviously, it's like that cell like anime-ish, like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 type of style. It's from Cyber Connect 2. What is it? The controls aim to be simple and reproduce an anime exhilarating action. They also learn on the top of the solo story mode that you relive the story of the anime controlling Tanjiro. And the game includes online versus mode and lets you pitch 2 characters from the series against each other, blah, blah, blah. So a very pretty vanilla style of an anime-based game. But looking forward to it. It's probably going to be pretty good. They're going to have, obviously, different styles of the weaponry because, obviously, Tanjiro uses water style majority of the time. But there's also, I think, wind and fire styles and shit. So we'll see when it comes out. Still just started the details. So, obviously, still more news to come through that. But we'll get back into that. But another quick news is the ESA is planning a digital E3 for 2021, which is a good and bad. Is it cool to have in my old self to think like E3 could come back possibly in some way? Yes, but here are some of the guidelines that I've heard through the grapevines with this news. Like the ESA's intentions is to hold multiple 2-hour keynote sessions from game partners, an award show, a June 14th preview night, and other similar streams from game publishers, influencers, and media partners. Pretty cool, right? Here are some of the negatives. Plans have yet to be approved by the ESA members. Jeff Keighley is also not be involved again. He's going to focus on his Summer Game Fest, which is good. I'll give him that. It is a good fest. No details on how many have signed up yet, and apparently you need a 6-figure sum is required to join the program. So I'm like, wow, that kind of gets into the weird mud of like, that's some shitty stuff. So still news in particular. Another quick thing, which is more, I don't know if it's going to be old news or new news in the sense. But this last week, right before Valentine's Day, was apparently the week of, EA was going to make the decision on what to do with Anthem. If they're going to pursue Anthem next, or if not. And since obviously the day of recording, there was no reassurance or nothing in particular, so I don't know if the game's silently died, or they're actually going to announce something maybe during this week of this coming out. I'll let you obviously know when it does, but that was another small news this week. Another quick thing was Epic Games unveiled a new MetaHuman creator, and you guys should go check it out because it's pretty neat in the sense of like the future of what could be NPCs. These 2 character models, they're pretty improved, and obviously I'm assuming it's involving, they're highlighting it for it's a new engine for developers to use, and it'd be, I'm assuming, easier for them to use and help, improve gaming, which is of course what Epic Games has been trying to do, and also, other shit going on too. But yeah, and then this week also, for a non-gaming wise, but The Last of Us HBO TV series has kind of set in stone the 2 actors and actress that is going to be Joel and Ellie. And then Joel apparently is going to be by Pedro Pascal. And honestly, I think he'll be a good fit. Of course, it's more, all I have in my head of Pedro is The Mandalorian, which obviously is him majority of the time with a mask on, so whatever. And then at the moment in time, my head is Wonder Woman 1984. I'm not saying he's not going to be fine, but there was a rumored possible other actor for Joel, and there was a rumor that it was supposed to be Mahershala Ali. He was supposed to get Joel's spot, and he was in the talks to get Joel's spot, but there's never been a deal made. And then Bella Ramsey is going to be Ellie, and she was from Game of Thrones, and that's basically what I know her from. And that's I think it's good to always get a different facial interpretations of the people. I don't have no qualms like, oh, Joel has to be this or Ellie has to look like this. I think these actors and actresses will be doing a pretty good job. They have the writer for Chernobyl helping produce this into a TV format, and I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, there was just some small news for the week of that. And then also, speaking of HBO, there was some rumors, or there is some rumors, nothing set in stone yet. HBO is trying to work out deals with CW to get some of their shows to be premiering on HBO Max on one night, and then the next night premieres on CW. I don't know if this is just involving Arrowverse or like a new show calling of it. Like, it could be Dumb, whatever. Just the idea that it's going to be on CW's produced show, but it's going to be on HBO Max a day before. Still rumors coming out there. The only other rumor I heard was that they were going to work on a Wonder Girl TV show using the newest Wonder Woman from the Future State stuff. And that just got thrown away. They're not going to do that no more. So I think that's kind of stupid, because I think that would have been pretty cool for a fresh way of like having a new character with like historic backgrounds of like i.e. like, Wonder Woman, but obviously with a different coming out of. Oh, I'm stupid too. I forgot Pedro was in Game of Thrones as well, after I'm looking up little things to remember to talk about. I forgot he's the snake, so obviously I've seen him. I've only seen him as a fancy sword person who dies, so this is going to be interesting to see him as Joel. Not saying he can't do it, I'm just saying another little tidbit that I remembered. Back to some quick game news of apparently also this week there was some unannounced teasing of an unannounced Halo game seemingly in development. The news came out of IGN. Nothing really more to say besides more Halo news. Like they just announced that they are done working on like any more DLC or whatever for Halo Wars 2. So whatever. And then also apparently 343 teases a new place to play, a new place and a way to play the Master Chief Collection during this week. But there was no rumor, or not rumor. There was no announcement. So it's still out in the folds if it's going to happen. I don't know if they're trying to hint at maybe like a cloud base so you can play Halo Master Chief Collection on your phone. I don't know if that's possible right now since I'm not in the Xbox ecosystem. But yeah, that's some other little tidbit news. And then also, what was another thing that came out this week? Well, actually, I'll say that because it also gives me a little bit more time, because it's probably going to be definitely a short and sweet. Today, we got the official first trailer for the Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I'm going to break it down a little bit because it's my... I love it, and also I hate it at the same time for little tidbits of like all this whole mediocrity that's been going through with it. My first impressions when I saw it looks good. I wasn't expecting anything less for myself because you can't get any worse. I really dig the color scheme. I know people were saying like he's been trying to use a lot more grays in this. It looks good. It looks interesting. This idea of it's just a trailer, so I'm not going to spoil anything besides what's in the trailer. It's a 2-minute long trailer. But the idea that when Superman dies in BVS, his voice echoes out and like basically probably informs the whole world that God died, like how they're making a sound. That seems interesting. That's a good way to make it so the world understands the grasp of it that he was trying to do. Well, it was trying to be shown in the original cut. Blah blah blah. And then also, I really am digging already without getting some clear good shots or like watching the show itself. I do like Darkseid's appearance. There are some things to it because it also that goes into my feelings on Steppenwolf in general too, because they finally showed also Steppenwolf outside of that weird glitzy metal fucking armor, which I'm not a fan of, but that's a whole nother. I actually don't mind the original cut Steppenwolf because of when you go look at Steppenwolf in a comic book. It's different, but it was closer to a comic in the original Joss Whedon cut. So I'm going to say like that. This new one seems so alien that it looks kind of like what are you, alien? Like, eh. But Darkseid doesn't look bad. I mean, there's some things that you could always have room for improvement on everything. I like seeing that there's Big Barda in the background with Darkseid. I like also, what is it? If we get 2 hours of character development and then 2 hours of like the thing they were trying to do in the movie, I'll be okay with this. I like also I'm really interested in this nightmare parts of this movie because it involves they ended it because everything else was kind of normalized. You saw more of the final battle with Steppenwolf and Wonder Woman flipping over her. You saw the black suit. But the thing that gets me more intrigued on this whole idea is the nightmare world that Batman sees, where he's obviously in the trench coat and with the gun and shit. This trailer shows this is where Jared Leto comes back as the Joker. And the interesting part that they don't really try to focus on is that there's like Cyborg behind Batman. So why is he in this nightmare vision if it's a dream of it and like all this stuff? It has a lot to unpack, and I think I'm praying to God 4 hours will give it all so we can have a nice bow and say send it off. Because also at this moment in time while recording this, Zack Snyder has also confirmed that Warner Bros. Says we're not doing anything else with Zack Snyder in mind yet. I know he likes to play coy with his fans to keep them, keep the pulse running. But right now, Warner Bros. Like, yeah, we're finishing this, but we're going to set this to rest. But we'll see. I'm not trying to be optimistic. Like, oh, yeah, he's coming. I'll probably see a comic book before we see another movie. But seeing Joker for a quick second, it was so quick, you can't even put a judgment call on it. But the idea that him going, looks like they might have to slowly work together at this moment in time, but we'll see. Maybe they're just red herring us. Some things I do not like is I don't like that apparently the Snyder Cut's going to be in a 4.3 aspect ratio. So that is going to be like old school TVs, not widescreen. I don't understand why. He said that's just his original fucking vision for the show. The idea of the original, it just goes in these weird little things that, okay, you want to make it it's not perfect, but the idea of you're trying to be close to a perfect square. Are you trying to be smart aleck and try to say, oh yeah, it's going to look really close to a comic book? Please don't. I wanted the widescreen because that's the idea that he does. He does these weird carrots on a stick that I'm starting to catch on. So the idea of with Batman versus Superman, I bought the Ultimate Edition. Woohoo! And then a year later goes, oh no, we're going to reissue out the movie, but now it's going to be the actual IMAX aspect ratio of the movie in a thing. I'm like, God damn. I didn't buy it. Just so people know, I didn't jump off the cliff. But that idea. So they're going to have the Snyder Cut in 4.3 on HBO Max. I guarantee if they put this on DVD, there will be another model with the widescreen edition. I hope, because I don't want to buy a fucking 4.3 aspect ratio movie and watch it on a big ass, people have 65, 75 inch TVs and you're watching a fucking that. So that's the only parts of it. I do like what it looks like it's doing. I do like seeing that they're gonna put some better, like, I just like knowing that we're gonna get a movie that's gonna have the same heaviness and like the same darkness as Batman vs Superman. And like, because I think that's what we're gonna need. I'm not saying, because like how I word it, like, when I think Justice League, I think that, but like, I don't have no problem how Aquaman switched to like more of a higher action, not so heavy, but Aquaman was pretty good, you know what I'm saying, in the movies. I liked Wonder Woman 84. I'm also one of the fucking people that like Wonder Woman 84. But I like also Shazam. Shazam is very lighthearted with it's probably one of the best DC movies, Shazam. I'm looking forward to the second one. But yeah, we got our trailer today. It looks great. It has interesting spot because it involves, you see more of how Flash uses his power, since he's not like the TV style of like zip, zip, zip. This one kind of slows down time around him and he can run, because you get to see him actually catch Iris outside the, like, jump, getting tossed out of the car that's in the car crash that you see in the previous trailer. So that's pretty cool. And they also just set in stone, not set in stone, it was already known, but like March 18th, they will be there March 18th, blah, blah, blah. The Age of Heroes is coming again. And apparently the internet's crazy about hearing that the Joker saying we live in society, Batman, which is apparently a Seinfeld and all their internet inside joke shit. But yeah, another quick note. I mean, I think that's basically it for me in the sense of that spots. I guess I can also say I think WandaVision has really finally... WandaVision could literally have been episode 4 and on. You could have cut out 1, 2, 3, and I wouldn't even give a shit that I didn't see the birth of Billy and Tommy. But I'm going to say WandaVision's catching a right type of stride to go to the right direction. And then also this week it was confirmed that the next 3 episodes of WandaVision are going to be an hour long. So, wow, thank God, because this has been really tough to watch 30 minutes, 7 minutes of fucking credits, and then bye. So, without spoilers, I'm going to spoil some shit. Episode 6 of WandaVision, obviously, it was the Halloween one that we've been getting teased on through the whole trailers, where like Wanda gets to dress up as like almost to the original setup as the Scarlet Witch. Vision looks like old Vision, and Petro is back, and it's obviously Evan Peters from the Fox universe, Quicksilver. He's dressed up as Quicksilver, and obviously it's really cool to see Tommy and Billy dress up as their hero characters, Speed and Wiccan. And this felt a little rushed because of obviously the 30 minutes, but it wasn't. It was, I think episode 5 had the best balancing act of TV sitcom and like Marvel Universe situations. And then episode 6 though had the most, I guess, moved the plot, and also this is the one that would be the turning of events and plot, like the plot thickens, because at the end, Vision kind of went outside the bubble and then started decaying because, spoiler, Vision is dead. And then Wanda finds this out, and she actually made the bubble bigger. And she actually took out the sword station and made the sword station look like a circus and clowns and all that stuff, which is going to be interesting for this. And then the other big thing was Darcy is in the bubble now too. We don't know what she's going to look like. We're going to find out within the next 3 episodes. But the only people that are not in the bubble is Jimmy Woo with Monica Rambeau, and I want to say the bad guy. He's not a bad guy yet, if he is going to be one, but the leader of Sword, who's been a real dickhead in the whole show, he also is not in the bubble. So we're going to see how that goes and the plot thickens, and I'm really excited for 3 more hour episodes so we can actually get some real information going on. But yeah, and then people are also just more saying this out there for a rumor. People are rumored that this is might be their way to get actually mutants into the Marvel universe, and they're going to use the head guy from Sword and WandaVision to become maybe the guy who pushes the idea of maybe Sentinels, the robots that kill mutants, into the Marvel universe because of how his actions are right now and trying to push. He wants to kill Wanda. He's really fucking nervous of Wanda. You know what I'm saying? And the idea that his background at this moment in time looks like he's really interested in that and only pursuing people of those powers. So we'll see how that goes down the road. If this keeps continuing, possibly getting X-Men into the Marvel Universe, that'd be cool. But yeah, that's what it's going to be for this week. Pretty short and sweet week. Again, I'm really more here, I want to be consistent. I want to try to get another episode out there. If anybody's listening, that'd be cool. Send me a tweet at MikeFowler93 on Twitter to say, hey, we're here for, blah, blah, blah. Say good job. You don't have to just say, hey, what's up? I'm very on there. I'll reply back. Hopefully you'll catch me on there. Also setting up a schedule for Twitch. But yeah, this week's hot picks is we're gonna start out with movie because I think it's gonna do a trickle down system for the music too. Movie is gonna be Judas and the Black Messiah. That movie was very good. It's on HBO Max. It's one of those ones that was set to premiere on the same day and date as HBO Max. It involves the last year and a half of Fred Hampton. He's obviously was one of the more outspoken Black Panther activists back in like the '69. He was the leader of the Chicago branch of the Black Panthers, and this movie is pretty phenomenal. I think it's great. And the thing that catches my eye every time now, because of getting older, is these events that we watch. And it ends I think it ends, or maybe I'm a little off on my timing, but this ends like in the year of 1969. And you just take a step back. We're in 2021. 1970 is not that far back. It's literally just 40 years. Well, 40 and some change. Excuse me. I'm not trying to downside what I'm trying to explain. But the idea of we are not that far away from how it was back then. There has been some leaps and bounds, but there's some real still underbelly shit going on that needs to change, and I hope we keep moving forward. I'm not saying that, but the idea of this movie is just a small section of like the whole idea. This involves the reason I bring it up like this is because the actor Daniel Kaluuya, the whole thing, please God, I kind of said his name right. He's obviously from Get Out. He's in Black Panther. He's in Queen and Slim. He did a phenomenal Fred Hampton. And the idea of what I'm trying to say is like, that part of Chicago, he started like the Rainbow Coalition. So it wasn't just like, it's not just a black thing in this, stick with me, I'm going to say. But they had the Black Panthers join up with like another group of like, it was like the Latinos, it seemed like. And there was also these ones they called them Young Patriots, but obviously these, poor white people. They're just trying to make a coalition about trying to take a stand on what was going on with the government. And then obviously the government clapped back, and that's why there's a movie. And obviously it was really good. And the best also part was because I can't even remember the director's name. I feel bad saying it like that. But the director did a really good job filming it, not even just for the Fred Hampton part, because the main part of the Judas is obviously the Judas part, which is William O'Neill of this whole story. William O'Neill was a CIA plant, kind of, that got into the Black Panthers and got almost become like a right-hand man for Fred. And William is played by Lakeith Stanfield, who's also in Get Out, but also is from, what's that movie? He was in the movie Sorry to Bother You and, of course, Uncut Gems. But he does a really good job. All the actors and actresses did a great job. But the idea of seeing a guy who feels he was like, he did the wrong way of doing it. He was obviously a plant for the FBI. But the idea that it was such an interesting outlook to look at. And the other big highlight was, which I was surprised too, because I don't really look into this shit. But the idea of Fred Hampton died at 21. He was shot and killed by the CIA from the FBI in his sleep at 21 years old. And that gets into like the idea, like, you know, some shit doesn't change. Just look at what happened last summer with Breonna Taylor. It's just crazy how history does this shit. And like this, the idea, like, we need to move forward. But I really I hope everybody goes and checks out Judas and the Black Messiah. It's a phenomenal thing. It's definitely out of the three movies that was a straight to movie or straight to HBO Max. We'll go by 1984 Wonder Woman and The Little Things with Denzel Washington. Judas and the Black Messiah outshines them all, hands down. But I would really check it out. It's a great movie. And then for music, off of the Judas and the Black Messiah soundtrack, I really like that Nipsey Hussle and Jay-Z's new song, What It Feels Like. And then for comics, I'm going to say DC's Truth and Justice issue 1 is a comic story with Vixen. And then also I got two quick other ones. If you guys see this week, this is February 17th I'm talking about, there's going to be a Captain America variant of him fighting a xenomorph from Alien. So I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, they're trying to hint at, you know, this March starts the Alien and Predator comic book series through Marvel. And apparently, I'm just saying this because if you are a comic book head and likes the idea of getting variants, apparently there is this new indie comic called Beskar coming out, issue 1. And there is somewhere in this world, there is a 1 in 1,000 edition of this cover. And this cover is apparently already selling for $2,500. Not saying you go buy it for $2,500, because there's some places you can possibly find it for, you know, closer to cover price. Maybe one of those ones if you're at the store that same day. But obviously it's 1 in 1,000, so you probably have to be like in the big leagues like New York or Chicago or something to get some big time movement of comic books to get that issue cover. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. But yeah, again, thank you guys for listening. Follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93. I really appreciate it. Also, twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. That's CUZ and CISEAL. And then, but yeah, thank you all. Until next time, be good to each other and peace. And also, I forgot, go listen to the Garbage Opinions podcast, where I am also part of the crew. We also now got a brand new its own feed, and you can go look it up anywhere. It's probably everywhere you listen to podcasts now. Ozzy with me, Delvin Cox, Adam Nutter, Mike from What Up Doe, and then DJ Team Hines. We do a lot of possibly cancelized shit on there, but we're slowly and surely going to get on there. Get all of the episodes out. We're going to, keep pumping it. It's a bi-weekly podcast. And also you can follow Garbage Podcast on Twitter. I heard the guy who handles that Twitter handle is pretty cool. But yeah, thank you all for listening. And again, till next time, be good to each other and peace.